This is not the YouTube live that I was expecting to make tonight. I've broken down. My phone mount is now in the way of where I've put this phone mount earlier on at the car show, right? And it's rubbish. Utter rubbish. And it's completely stuck to my windscreen. And the light's terrible. Right, I'll try it over there. Oh dear, this is not going well. Anyway, we'll try it there. All right, good evening. Oh, I don't know what this line is here. Where's that line coming from? That's quite bizarre. Is it just because of the way the light is? I'll move over here. It's got to be on the camera, hasn't it? Right, wipe the lens. Well, this is a fun video. No, there's a weird line on the camera. Anyway, I don't know what's causing that. Very bizarre. How are we all? I've broken down. Yeah, I'm stranded in my Renault, waiting for my wife to come and pick me up. We're going to abandon the Renault here tonight. Yep, there's definitely a weird line on there. So what's happened is driving along the motorway, and it starts to cough and splutter. And I thought, this feels exactly the way it felt when it ran out of petrol the other day. So I managed to coax it. I actually managed to get to the motorway junction that I was trying to get to. So I came off at Bromsgrove and I pulled over, and I'm as far over as I can on the slip road. And I'm like, well, I really don't understand why there's this weird line at the top here. It doesn't make sense. It wasn't there earlier. Really strange. Anyway, I get off the motorway. It's sunny. It's a nice day. And I've got a canister of fuel with me. I've got 5 litres of petrol. So I go around to the back of the car, because as you know, the fuel filler's in the back. And I put the petrol in, and it makes no difference. And I'm like, okay, so this isn't fuel. So it's coughing and spluttering. And there's an uphill to a traffic light. And then I know that there's a pub. And I'm thinking, if I can get up the hill, over the traffic light and to the pub, at least I'm safe and I can break down in the car park at the pub. How convenient. So it's not happy. It's not starting properly. And I'm still on a slip road by this point. I managed to sort of crawl it in first gear, kind of on the clutch, to the traffic light. And then it cuts out and the traffic light goes red. So I'm okay. And then I've got to get the car started again when the traffic light goes green. Traffic light goes green and car won't start. Then I managed to get it started, and I crawled at snail's pace, probably mostly rolling, across the roundabout and towards the pub. But then it was on the downhill section. And on the downhill section, I was like, oh, now I'm doing okay. So there's a petrol station. So I pulled into the petrol station and I park up and I think, right, what can I actually do? What can I look at here? What's interesting is, since the car's been at the show, it's got a red light on the dash that it never had before. And that red light is coming on when I brake. So it's like I've now got a warning light on the dash that is somehow connected to my brake lights. So, no, it's not the choke stuck on. I'm pretty sure the choke's not stuck on. And the wallpaper's still attached, yes. So I'm at the petrol station. I've got a few basic tools with me. So I changed the fuel filter because I had a spare fuel filter with me, and I thought, well, it's not going to help having the old clogged up fuel filter. So I changed my fuel filter, and then I took the distributor cap off, and with an abrasive pad, I cleaned up all the points, the contact points on the distributor cap, and then I cleaned up the points on the rotor arm, or the point on the rotor arm where it connects with the distributor cap, and then that was it then. So that's my ignition. I know my coil's working. My HT leads are all okay. Dizzy cap's fine. Rotor arm's intact. Dizzy cap's cleaned up. What more can I do? And then I was thinking, I've probably done enough. I know what I'll do. I'll put some extra petrol in. So I put 20 quid's worth of petrol in. And then I drove away from, I started it then at the petrol station, and I thought, yeah, I fixed it. It was just a dirty distributor cap. No, it's not the alternator, because it is, like if I try to start it now, it'll go. Ready? See the way it could be alternator. So it'll start, but it won't drive. So I can start it and I can pull away in my gear on first gear, and then as soon as I give it any gas, it's just dying. So that's it. I'm stuck. Tried everything. So I left the petrol station, and I left the petrol station thinking, yeah, I fixed it. I am brilliant. And I had a hairline crack in the distributor cap that was almost invisible. Check it again. Air filter clogged carb. I think it could be a clogged air filter, but if I try and run it without, should I try and drive it round with the air filter off? Shall I remove the air filter? And then we'll run it around the car park until my wife arrives to rescue me. Because I don't want to get recovered tonight, because if I get recovered tonight, then the car has to go to my house. And I don't want the car to go to my house. I want the car to go to where Paul is. Have you got electrician on that? If not, your condenser may be faulty. No, I haven't got electronic ignition on it. And I don't have a spare condenser with me. It could be that the condenser's gone. Is the distributor vacuum advanced? You might have a vacuum leak, which also stopped the brake servo working, which could have put the light on. Yeah, that could make sense as well. So there's a number of different things that it could be, but I don't have any spare. I don't have a spare condenser with me. I don't have a spare distributor. The distributor cap seems a bit loose to me, which I thought was a bit odd. Like I can waggle it a bit too much, so maybe it's to do with that. But it's all right. I don't want to deal with it tonight anyway. I don't want to farce around anymore. I'm happy with my decision. You're fighting against Matt Armstrong. Oh, Matt Armstrong just posted as well. He's bought another crash damaged car, hasn't he? I just saw the thumbnail for it. Was it Marcus Rashford's car this time? I don't know. I love Matt Armstrong, but he buys cars that I'm not really interested in. Put hand over carb mouth, create big vacuum. I had a car that would idle okay, but when I hit the gas, it would start to die. It turned out some joke at her work had swapped 2 of the ignition leads. Do you know what? Not being funny, the car's been on display at a classic car show all weekend, and I wouldn't be surprised if someone had messed with it. Like, it could well be that. I'm a pretty trusting person, but it's strange to me that light is now coming on the dash that wasn't before, and all my car's done is sit in the same spot all weekend. I haven't kept an eye on it all weekend. Yes, people have been opening the bonnet and whatnot, but I don't know, maybe someone has messed with it. It seemed to drive. In fact, it didn't drive perfectly when I left the show. It wasn't driving very nicely when I left the NEC. It wasn't behaving, which is really weird because, like I said, nothing's changed over the weekend, and it's been sat plenty times before and then just fired into life. So, don't know. Maybe I've been sabotaged. Shall I show you? Would you like to see? All right. Look. What's for dinner tonight? I don't know. I haven't got any time for dinner yet. Right, let me switch the camera. So, this is the inside of my Renault. Oh, hang on, because I'm plugged into my charging block. Right, I can start the car. Ready? It'll start with a little bit of gas. Right, gas there. So it's not coming on now. Got oil pressure. Got battery voltage. Battery voltage coming up. Temperature gauge never really works all that well anyway. If I try and drive it around the car park, I am in a private car park by the way now, and there's a gate to get in. Right, let's have a gear, please, car, thank you. So we'll do first gear, fine. I can feel that it's not pulling very well at all. If we come around here, in second gear, right, go around the corner, I'm going to floor it. That's all it's got. It's farting. My foot's flat to the floor and it's not even accelerating. And then we're bouncing, so I can't drive it very well. So it is playing up something nasty. Let's put it back where it was. So that's my symptoms basically. Let's put it in this one because it might be a bit more light here for the video. Oh, it's gone. No, it's back. Oh, have a gear, please. It's definitely ignition related, isn't it? It's in limp mode. Yeah, we just got to plug it in. Plug it in, take a reading. OBD port, straight in. Yeah, and it's died. If you can't find it, grind it. So that's my car. Let's spin the camera back around again. Someone played the HT leads. It does sort of seem like that, doesn't it? I'm in the space, we're all right. Check your filter box. Checked it. I checked my oil filter box, and then I started reading a story to you. I've got my dodgy stories part 2. I started reading that a minute ago. Like, fuel tank airlocked. Now, it's not fueling, because I've put fuel in it, and it's fine. That's not firing on all 4 cylinders. Is it electronic ignition? It's still on points and condenser. So I think what I need to do is I need to get it in with my buddy Paul, who was going to have another look at the roof anyway. And I'll get him to take care of it and give it a once-over. So that's my plan. Probably the fuel pump diaphragm. They get perished with ethanol in the petrol. It'll be the points and condenser. The main thing is, could check for any HT leads arcing since it's dark. I don't really know what I'm looking for with that. Is it the Renault? Is this the Renault? Yeah, this is the Renault 10. Modern points and condensers are rubbish. They're cheap Chinese replicas and they don't last. Oh yeah, this was the other thing. Take it to a main dealer. The rest of the day was great, thank you. This was the other thing. And then because I've got clip-on terminals in the front for the battery, I'd removed my terminals to disconnect the battery over the weekend. This is quite funny actually. And when Paul did all the work on the Renault, he fitted my new battery terminals for me, and he said these are crap, these are. And I went to tighten one up earlier on and I snapped it completely in half. I snapped the metal completely in half. Just crap, rubbish Chinese made crap in it. Sounds like a carburetor issue. Look in the glove box for the owner's manual for dash lights. There is no glove box. The only thing in the glove box is a Hot Wheels car that I bought earlier on. I'm okay, it's fine. I say I can deal with this tomorrow. I don't want to deal with it now. It's cold. I want to go home. I want to have a cup of tea. Been a long weekend, so yeah, my wife wasn't too far away, so she just said I'll just come and get you. Fuel needs lead additive. I'm not sure. Geoff, it turns out that Morag is MacMaster's ex-wife. I would laugh if that was true. Geoff's a big lad. It's a run, no. Yeah, it's a run, no. Hemi Geoff, when are you doing the challenge with the MacMaster? I hear he's having an interesting time in Cyprus. Yeah, he's back now, because his videos are always a couple of days behind. But I gather he was like chased out of Cyprus, which was quite funny, for being honest. I never touched a thing when I sat it on Friday, honest. Yeah, it was. I'm not blaming you, Simon. Tampon in the fuel tank. I don't know. Maybe Hubnut went by. Maybe Hubnut went by and messed with something. I don't know. I'm sure it's nothing. But the main thing is, as I was about to say then, it ain't going to be anything complex, is it? Because it's a really simple car. So I'm not concerned really. I've got my BMW X5. The engine could have caught COVID. Maybe the engine did catch COVID because it wasn't 2 meters away from all the other cars. Tell us a joke, Geoff. No, I'm not going to tell you a joke, but what I can do is I can read you a story. That's even better. Listen to this. I went on an off-road motorcycle weekend with the lads in Wales. My mate bought his 10-year-old son, who was an above-average rider. Being in the middle of nowhere, we all jumped into one van, at least 10 of us, plus the young lad, and we went to the local pub, 8 to 10 miles away, and we all had a really good drinking session. At the end of the evening, and after many drinks, the only one sober was age 10. Guess who drove us back to the campsite? It's one of the little stories from what was that? I just catch some comments there. One of the little stories from all your stories. I'm going to wait and I'm going to do this video long form tomorrow when I've got some proper daylight, because this is part 2 of all of your dodgy stories, and some of them are absolutely superb. This is an interesting one, actually. I'll just talk about this for a moment. Someone's commented saying, I remember seeing a lot of one-eyed cars years ago. Right, by one-eyed car, yeah, we did have blue sky tonight. That's great now. But yeah, so there's a comment that says, I remember seeing a lot of one-eyed cars years ago. Right, one-eyed car is a car where the headlight's gone. So you've got the side light and the headlight both out, right? And that seemed to go away for a while. But now, as cars have got more modern and more complex, I'm seeing more and more cars driving along the motorway at night with only one headlight on, because the whole electronic unit has failed. My money's on the condenser, says Tim. You're probably not wrong. Beer, tea or coffee? I'll take any of them right now. A sandwich walks into the bar. The bartender says, I'm sorry, we don't serve sandwiches. Geoff, what's happened to the guy who lied about his electric Jag? I haven't heard anything more yet. Crap maintenance, says critical stinking. Critical stinking. No, I bought an electronic ignition kit and we were going to fit electronic ignition and then I lost it. So I haven't actually replaced the points or condenser. But at the same time, it's been running absolutely beautifully. Honestly, the drive to the car show, I was driving down the motorway the other day and I was thinking, this car is running better than it's ever ran in its life. It was buzzing along like a sewing machine. So, yeah, 3 days sat at the NEC and it's broken. It'll be something and nothing, won't it? We'll get it in with Paul. Paul can have a look and Paul can store it for free inside his unit for a little bit as well. Wallpaper paste in the electric. Yeah, it could be wallpaper paste in the electric. I don't know what it is. We'll find out. Sorry to hear the old Renault isn't playing. Here in Spain, the whole of the country will be under torrential rain all next week. Yeah, Badger, I know. We've been keeping an eye on it because we were going to come out to Spain on Wednesday, and now we're not. As I spoke of quite extensively in this morning's live feed. Yeah, it'll be like a vacuum line, or it'll be something small. But as well, right? I mean, I could try and bodge it together. I don't really want to drive it home, because it doesn't have any, I don't think it has any hazard lights. And my run home from here is pretty much all pitch black. So I don't want to break down on a cold, dark night when I could leave it in a car park and wait till the morning. So that's the more sensible thing to do. Have you emptied the ashtrays? It has got a little ashtray here, actually. Yeah, it's full of window winders. Blow in the petrol tank. It might clear the air intake. I don't think it would. Now it's getting fuel. I had a condenser fail on my Motor Guzzi. It was popping and farting and wouldn't pull the skin off rice pudding. I think we've probably found the culprit here. It's Monday in New Zealand. Thanks, John. Happy Monday from John. Such a lovely weekend. Loved your live content. Number plate man and nerd. Brilliant. Yeah, the videos were really good, weren't they? Have you tried cleaning the mirrors? The mirrors don't do anything. They are just for show. Yeah, they don't do a fat lot. Mouth to intake resuscitation. That would work. Yep. Geoff, have you heard of these modern things called breakdown services? Yeah, I phoned one, but they can't be here till 9 o'clock, and then they'll want to recover the car to my house. And I don't want the car to go to my house, because after the car show, this was going to go back in with Paul, who did the work on the roof, for a few more extra bits to be done. So I might as well just cut out the middleman and send it straight to him. That's the plan anyway. Geoff, try a new engine. I don't want a new engine. I was really hoping this car would sell at the show, but clearly not. Although there was one guy that was very interested, but it's interesting as well that this light is now coming on and off. So the battery connection is not consistent. So something's happened to this car at the show. And I know I've just broken that battery terminal, but this light was fine before. So there we go. That's where we're at. That's my Sunday evening. I hope your Sunday evening has been more productive than mine. I'm not really complaining, to be totally honest. Check the back seat. 2 deck chairs and a door card. Just don't fall in love with the car like the extreme addiction guy with the tailpipe. Oh, yeah. Yeah, remember there was that weirdo? And then he was like, was that the guy that said he'd made love to something like loads of cars? Very, very odd. Yeah, so, no, it was a good show. It was. I enjoyed it. Thoughts on Chris Harris? Chris Harris is great. Chris Harris has just been let down by bad teammates. And he was always a better writer than he was a presenter. But there we go. When you fit a new set of points, drive, then set the gap again. They wear loads in 40 miles. Probably too small a gap, causing some rough running. Yeah, it wiggle the battery terminals, especially the earth. I didn't check the earth, actually. But I'm pretty sure it's on pretty tight. Hope you're not with green flag. Their trucks are rarer than unicorns these days. Chris Harris does know his stuff. He really does. Now, I'm with the AA. I've got AA breakdown cover via Cherished Vehicle Insurance Services. See the light going again. who I'm with. So they're normally pretty good, but they said they couldn't be here till 9 o'clock. And I'm not hanging around till 9 o'clock. And my wife offered to come and give me a lift. Thoughts on Rishi Sunak? He's just another billionaire who's pretending like he cares. Not loving an EV. No tailpipe to violate. Cherished guy. Awesome. Yeah, Ian's cool, isn't he? Ian's cool. He's going to laugh when I tell him that I ended up leaving my car in a car park and getting collected by Mrs. Geoff. Check the earth terminal where it connects to the chassis. That was done recently, but there is a lot of stuff in the front of the car. I'm not checking anything more now. I've made my decision. There's a lot of stuff in the front, and maybe something's like come loose and knocked the earth terminal. It could be. Maybe it's as simple as that. But I'd rather wait till tomorrow and do it in the daylight. That's what she said. Geoff, you should do a live at Goodwood Revival. How long until you have a channel on BitChute? I'm going to start getting my stuff together, I think. How long's Mrs. Geoff going to be? She's probably half an hour away. We've been broadcasting for 20 minutes, so she's probably going to be here in a minute. Serbia. Hello from Serbia. I doubt it's that as it runs and then the same thing happens. Yeah, it's a pretty consistent problem. It's doing the exact same thing over and over. So you watch. What'll happen tomorrow is I'll jump in this car and it will be absolutely faultless. Did you forget to get fuel? No, it's got loads of fuel in it. I put a £5 in on the motorway with my canister, and then I put another 30 quid in. So it's got plenty of fuel. And I changed the fuel filter, and fuel is going through. I saw an AA man with his head on the steering wheel, crying his eyes out. He's heading for a breakdown. I thought to myself, there's a chance it could be a little damp in the Dizzy. Yeah, could be. Oh, there's a few things it could be. I did take the Dizzy. All the tyres full of air. Thank you for your help. Oh, yeah, it's just because the fire's out. The fire's out, the tyres are out. Matt from Furious Driving getting one over about the drag queen stuff. Yeah. I don't know Matt from Furious Driving. He's all right. It's consistently inconsistent. You're right. So, I would do another 8 minutes. And we'll get to the half an hour point and then we'll call it a night. Okay, so basically what we've done is we've all narrowed it down. We've all narrowed it down with our internet couch potato sofa experts in the fact that it's the condenser or something in the distributor or the carburetor. That's it, isn't it, really? Because it's getting fuel, so it can't be the fuel pump. It can't be anything. It's not the throttle cable. That's fine. So the throttle cable is working, and so we've done it all. We've diagnosed it. It's fine. Everything's going to be okay. Sounds like it's being starved of fuel. The air intake for the petrol tank could be blocked. Air intake for the petrol tank. Where would the air intake for the petrol tank be? Yeah, where would that be? Air intake for the petrol tank. I'll have a look. Injectors. Hasn't got injectors. Put a banging donk on it. What's the drag queen stuff? Gossip. Just going back to like summer last year when I made a video about drag story hour and the fact that you shouldn't have men with mental health problems dressed up in lingerie telling stories to small children in schools. And I said that I didn't agree with that. And I made a video about it. And then the other two were like coming out saying loads of nasty stuff about me. Is the ignition timing has slipped and it's retarded, it won't rev. What would have made the ignition timing slip? Could that be the Dizzy cap not being in quite the right place? Air intake for the tank is a small hole in the fuel cap. Oh no, there is a small hole in the fuel cap. That's fine. That's okay. Try diagnostic dice. I love that, diagnostic dice. I mean, basically, if you take all the problems that we've put in the... I'm not getting to notifications today at all, says Free Thinker. Take the fuel cap off and listen for a hiss. Call Lee for a tow. Lee's taking a family break. I think he's actually taking some time out to spend some time with his family this Easter, because I did say about meeting up with him. But he said no, he's on his Easter break. I guess he needs to see his family, doesn't he? Because he's been travelling a lot. Did you take the COVID vaccine, mate? That's a bit personal, isn't it? I like Duke Valentine. What do you think? What do you think? Yeah. Try kicking it. I talked nicely at it. I didn't get to the swearing at it stage. But yeah, I don't know why I haven't got a spare condenser. I've got lots of other stuff, but I haven't got a condenser. Atmosphere pressure change, says Dead Channel. Atmosphere pressure change. What? Because I drove it into the car show and the weather was one thing, and then I drove it out of the car show and the weather was another, and the car now doesn't like it. The car's basically got seasonal affective disorder. I credit you for pointing out manual lever in front door of Teslas. Ah, thank you, Alan. Ah, Mrs. Geoff has just arrived. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching this live broadcast. I'm now going to go home, and I'll keep you posted tomorrow on what happens with the car. But first up, a cup of tea. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, and good night. Sleep well. Sleep well, my brother.